1. Astwick House, London, May 1816. Lady Felicity Pierce could not quite believe her eyes. Was that Phineas Granard, Viscount Carraway, at an actual ball? Heavens! Was someone blackmailing Finn? Or was there a duelling pistol to his back? He certainly wouldn't be here of his own volition, that was for sure. The overly serious Viscount hadn't been remotely social in years, despite Lissy's best prodding that he stop sulking and get on with his life. Finn started across the ballroom and greeted Lord Liverpool with an outstretched hand. Ah, that explained everything. Finn wasn't being blackmailed, and he hadn't suddenly become social. He was doing what he always did, politicking. "The dolt is more starched than his cravat," came a deep voice from behind her. Lissy glanced over her shoulder to find the decidedly despicable Marquis of Havisham standing just a few feet away. Handsome devil that he was, the Marquis's light blue eyes twinkled as he cast her a smug expression, one that a more foolish girl might have found charming. But Lissy had endured more than her share of that sort of man to last her a lifetime, so Havisham's attention was completely wasted on her. She gave the Marquis the back of her head, but said loud enough for him to hear, "I am entirely certain Lady Astwick didn't invite you, my lord." Lord Havisham chuckled, moving closer to Lissy, so close the scent of his citric shaving lotion invaded her senses. "She never does," he agreed. "An intelligent man might make something of that, his continual lack of invite, that is." And yet the scoundrel attended every last event the Dowager Marchioness of Astwick hosted anyway, as though daring the old dragon to personally drag him, kicking and screaming, all the way to her front stoop. Havisham laughed once more. "You are more direct than most chits your age. Do you know that?" "My widowhood allows for a certain directness." "Among other things," he added silkily. "But I imagine your directness stems more from being one of Prestwick's daughters. Not certain you're quite as direct as Lady Juliet, but she does possess a fortune you do not, doesn't she?" Lissy didn't need her sister's fortune. Finn had made certain her allowance from Prestwick's holdings was more than generous. She glanced back at the staid Viscount across the ballroom. He was starched. Havisham was right about that. And while she had accused Finn of that very thing herself more than once over the years, she hated hearing the disreputable Havisham voice the same criticism. She tilted her head to the side in order to better see the Marquis. "Shouldn't you be off chasing after Lady Staveley's skirts?" The lady in question wouldn't have a thing to do with him, but at least it would get the rogue away from Lissy. Havisham's rakish grin spread wider. "I have no need to chase anyone's skirts, I'll have you know." No, he probably didn't. The man was more than handsome with his dark hair and light piercing eyes. He exuded masculinity and raw sexuality. Despite his fascination with Lady Staveley, a most happily married woman who was quite devoted to her husband, Havisham most likely had a throng of widows and unhappily married women lining up for a turn in his bed. Widows. Lissy narrowed her eyes on the libertine. Her widowhood did allow for a certain directness. However, it had also been the source for more than one inappropriate suggestion to her over the years. "I'm so happy to hear that, my lord. Perhaps you can go entertain one of your many paramours, then, and leave me to myself." Havisham chuckled. "You are charming, Lady Felicity." "And here I'm trying so hard not to be." "A word of advice?" His light eyes twinkled once again. "Could I possibly stop you?" she countered. "If you smile a bit more, Carraway might actually notice you." Lissy's mouth fell open. Did he think she wanted Finn's attention? Finn was like family. He was, in fact, her half-brother's uncle. He had, in fact, almost married Lissy's oldest sister before her untimely death.